Hi, friends. Hope this finds you well. Ah, I know I'm a couple minutes early, so I'll just wait a moment. This might be a quick live. I don't know because it's just me today. Unfortunately, Trish doesn't feel well. So, yeah, she won't be joining us today, and I'm so sad. It's just me because it's more fun with friends, but that's okay. Um, yeah. Maybe I can invite one of you to come join me today. So we'll see as people um, uh, come and join in. We have up to 10 people on screen. We'll see. But excited to be here. We are going to work on this. Let's see if I can get a good, the sun's kind of coming in. But this bracelet here, you can see that. Sun, 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 everywhere there's sun. There we go. So made with beads from Potomac bead box. So they have a monthly subscription box, and those are the beads I'll be using today. Yeah, but we'll wait here a moment. Maybe somebody will join us. I am early, so we'll see, but I'll keep getting ready. You probably will hear my pup barking in the background. But while we're waiting for friends to join in, if you already have, hey Zach, so glad you're here. Yay, so fun. Unfortunately, Trisha's sick, so or under the weather, she said. So it is just me today. But yeah, but excited to be with you guys. And um we're going to be making this bracelet. So Zach, I don't know if you have the Potomac Beads February box, but that's what I'm going to be using today. Um, but if you don't, this one's called Everlasting Embrace. If you folks don't have that one, I'll go over really quickly here what beads I have. Uh, some of these I'm not sure if other companies do them because Potomac, let me close the door here a moment. My kids are up there. Oh, thanks, Zach. Yeah, my hair is finally growing in. And I washed it today. uh, now I lost what I was gonna say. Um, can you hear me okay, Zach? Just that's what I was gonna ask. Anyways, Potomac beads, they make some really special, fun shaped beads. The sun is pouring right in, right over me. So it's hard to get this where you can see it. There we go. So we are going to be using from them. They really bless you with a lot. Like, look at this. Happy Friday, Sandy. I mean, this is just their February box. So that's what I'll be using today. Um, so some of the, but I can tell you what kind of beads I'm using, and if you have them in your stash, you can join in with me. Or oh, good, I'm glad. Thanks, Zach. Usually I have Trish when we talk before we start, and I know how I'm sounding, but yeah, she is not feeling well, which is very sad. So send prayers out that she'll feel better. And I'm looking for all my beads. Oh no, where's the? I have one special one I really need. Let me put it in a different bag. Ah, got it. All right. So Sandy, so happy Friday. So fun to have you both here and whoever else is joining in with us. Please like and share. Um, yeah, I'll let her know, Sandy, that you say to feel better. I don't believe she's in with us, but she hasn't been feeling great this week, so I know it was a bummer. But yeah, so I'm going to switch cameras here and show you Oh, good. Okay, Zach. Well, yes, I'm sure you will find inspiration of a way you can use some of your beads. Um, so you might be able to see it better from this camera. So as you can see, Potomac does like give you some special bead shapes and stuff. So this one particular, I'm looking, is a navette. It's a Potomac crystal navette. You can see it's really cool. It's, this crystal already in the setting. But what Potomac does is that you can't probably see it on camera here, but they have the holes so you can bead it right into your work and not have to. So we're going to use a navette. Um, so if you have something like that, or if you have another two-hole um, focal bead, you could certainly do that. Um, and then we have, if you see alongside the sun's hitting right at this time of day, and I sit right under the window. Um, let's see. Let me see if I can close this curtain. Give me a second here. Hopefully that'll help. Hey, Terry. Oh, I lost my earbud. So glad to have you here. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. All right, so this is sort of a sneak peek. I do have a full video of all the beads that are in it, but as I was saying, um, oh, good. Okay, so we have the navette, and then next to the navette, if you can see if I can get it to focus in on that. Here and here, here and here are crystal bicones, and I believe, let's see, they're 2 millimeter crystal bicones. And then this bead here, this is a quad bow bead, so it has 4 holes in it, and it's kind of like that kind of half circle shape. And then there's smaller ones here called the Storm Duo beads. So you could probably do super duos there. And then then we have here, the red ones are just the Mayuki, and then they are the Eidos. So Mayuki Eidos, and then these are the Storm Duos, 7x3. Um, the quad bow, and I'll show these better as we go along. And they have 4 holes in them. They're 6x15. I mentioned the navette. The box comes with 2. We're going to use these really pretty check star beads in fuchsia, 8 millimeter. And there was a strand of beads, and I put it in with my bicones so I wouldn't lose them. It is, I think they're either 6 or 8 millimeter check rounds. So, and then you're going to need some type of beading wire. Now I know that Potomac, it didn't come in the box. Potomac has their own fire line or something. I forget what the name of theirs is. I'd have to look that up. But this is Beadalon's Wildfire, but I definitely have to get some of Potomac's, but I hear very similar product. And then I have the package even came with wire guard, or let's see, the wire guards, and you'll need a clasp, obviously, and which I forgot to grab. And then you can either do crimp beads or tubes, or you can tie it off. And I did, whether you tie a knot or whether you do crimp beads or tubes, I even grabbed crimp covers. So those aren't included. Well, they didn't include those, but they did include the um, wire protectors. So they send amazing boxes. I highly recommend it. I mean, beautiful. You have to check out my whole video. Oh, that's fun. The name of the Nivettes. Okay. Hi, Melanie. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Dragon thread. I know there's so many products similar to that. Um, so do you, oh, you have them from the past boxes? Yeah, so this is the February box, but yes, if you have past boxes, then more than likely you have these shapes. That's one thing I'm really excited about with Potomac. I like all the bead companies that I am affiliate with, but they have the most unique shapes. That's one thing that I really like about the Potomac beads. So I'm going to stick these up here. Trying to figure out the best way to, my desk is only so big. How to do all of this, you know? What are you guys working on? If you are just arriving, Trish is not feeling well today, so she won't be joining us. But I will, here is the link to this, to the Potomac bead box. I'll put it in the, you used to get the one with the kits when they first started. Now I want to get both boxes. Yeah, yeah, I want to get the one with the kits too, but I can only do one right now. Can only do so much, right, Melanie? So I need to make some more money. I sell my jewelry in a local shop here, so need to make some more money there before I go buying more beads. But yeah, they're both gorgeous. I'm loving this box. So they send a ton of beads, all beautiful quality, and then they usually have some kind of tool. This month's tool was a pen, which is fun. Um, Other times they've sent like real tools, like cutters. They've sent all kinds of stuff. Yes, Terry. Oh, that's a good idea to switch it up. Yeah. All of the companies have some really great ones, and they're all unique in their own way. I wish I could afford them all because, but then I don't know where I'd store it all. So that's right, switch it up, and that works great too. Switching it up. So I would say of whatever beading wire you're choosing, I'm using a gray today. Um, because it kind of blends in really well. And then get your nice wire cutters, and you'll need you need a beading needle. I So this is more of a beading project today, and I'm looking for my beading needle. I had it here. I don't know where my other one went. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to use a gray thread. I feel like the gray kind of blends a little bit more than say the white. So I've trimmed it, and I don't know if you guys know this unique little fun tip is to take, yeah, yeah, I wish I could too, Terry. That would be so fun. But you take a set of pliers, and a great way of threading a needle is to just squish the end, and then it helps thread the needle, especially with the like the wildfire, dragon thread, fire line, whatever type that you use. It helps, and then I use that to help pull it through too, because the coating they put on is great for beading and really helps it stand up, but it can make it a little thick to go through the beads, through the needle. Anyway, so just for those coming in, this is the bracelet we're working on. So the best way that I found to do this is to start with the middle and work out. So if you know your size, um, I you want to account for, so you want to account, you want to bead for as much as, so my wrist is a 7. So you want to bead for as much as like 6 inches and leave an inch for adding a little bit of chain. So you can adjust the size a little bit, or if you like to have that, like, you know, little dangle of chain down, um, of, you know, for your findings on the end. So I've threaded my needle. I've got my here's my navette. And then after that, it helps if you lay it all out too, to know kind of where you're going. So the most beads that were, aw, thanks, Melanie. I can't wait to see all of your creations with the different colors and everything. So you're first going to need to get your 2mm bicones out, and you need 12. So there's 4 on each side of the navette if you want to lay it all out. And I'll just walk through laying it all out in case we don't get to all the beading today. And whatever I don't finish, I will, um, you know, do an extra video if I run out of time. Um, so then I wish I could make, let's see if I can make this closer. Um, oh, Trish did join us, even though she's not feeling well. Aw, so fun to see you here, hon. You are certainly missed on this end. I'm trying to see if I can get any closer to my, it just puts the light right in my face, so I try to avoid that. But there we go. All right, so hopefully you can see that a little better. And then you want to grab the Storm Duo beads. These are white lila luster. They're 7x3. I wanted to type it all out for you guys. I just didn't get to it yet. So I will do that, and I will share the link with you in Queen Beads, and then also if you join us next week. So right now you'll just need 4, but you'll be using more later. So 2 and 2. Now the one thing about the navette is it doesn't have 4 holes. So that's important to know while you're beading. You do have to go through the 2 holes a couple times. Oh, wait, I forgot to put my other ones in there. Ah, sorry. This is why you lay it out first. Why I wanted to talk through it with you guys. I forgot to put in my quad bow beads. These are 6x15. So those go first on either side of those bicones that you laid out. And you can also use you could use faceted 2mm too, if you like. I just happened to use the bicones because they were slightly different color from the quad bows, so they gave it a little more pop. Whereas the ones that came in the kit are like the same color, so they blend, like, depends on what you want to go for. So after you put your quad bows, you're gonna lay down 4 more bicones on either side of your quad bows, and then you'll lay down your storm duos. So we're going to bead the center first, and then if we have time, I will show you how to finish it off. But the finishing off piece is just a simple single bead once we get past here. It's just bead down. So if we don't get there, most of you probably will be able to figure that out, but I will, make sure I do a second video if we don't finish today. Oh, you have gold and bronze? Okay. Hi, Robin. Oh, that's okay. You're late. I'm just laying it out. Um, so I wish I could get, oh, I'll lift it up. See if we can, so you can, if anybody wants to take a screenshot. It's a little messy. There's supposed to be 4 bicones, or you can do, 4 just faceted crystals there. So we have the navette, and then we have the 2mm crystals, and then oh, blanking on the name of that one again. The quad bows. So 2 quad bows, another grouping of 4 crystals and 4 crystals, and the storm duos. I'm sure you could probably do the super duos if you don't have storm duos. So virtually, I'm just going for 4 holes, so 2 holes and 2 holes. So I was just, that's how I was creating that, and that's what I was going for. And then after that, we move on to 4 of the 8-0 Mayuki. These are the flame red AB silver lined ones. So pretty. So this is all in the February kit, which I think is still available. Thank you, Robin. I really appreciate that. So same thing, just like, and even if you didn't have crystals, you could do the Mayuki 8-0 seed beads. They would work just, they're the same size if you want to change it up. So then we have the 4 and 4 8-0s, and then we're going to do another grouping of the quad bows. All right, so then we get just 2 more. That's all we need right now to lay out. Because what we're going to do is this is where we reduce it. We come down. So we come from the 4, and then we have the quad bow, and then we come down to the storm duo and just go to 2, just to 2 holes, 1 bead, and then 2 of the 8-0s, and then they all go in to just 1 bead. And this, I did use the crystal, the round, the faceted crystals here. So they're the same colors, the rounds that are in the kit. So we're laying down the storm duos, and then we have 2 crystals and 2 crystals. And then after that, we have, I believe this is 8mm are these. It's either 6, I think it's either 6 or 8mm rounds. And then just that, and laying a crystal, bead, crystal, bead. So there's 3 crystal, and I'm actually going to add in 1 more. It was a little shorter than I wanted. Bead, crystal, and then they have these really pretty stars in the kit. They're the same color as the Mayuki seed beads. And I need to find 1 more crystal. So then you can just repeat it on this side. And honestly, you could do whatever, I mean, substitute in whatever colors, you desire. So the check round, crystal, check round, crystal. Well, I just put a check round, crystal. Oh, good, Melanie. I'm glad you're going to get this box next week. Both Trish and I, if you don't know, we are affiliates. So if you use our link, every little bit helps us, and we can keep doing videos like this and keep creating. So if you're able to use our link, if you remember. If you don't, that's okay, but it doesn't affect your price. It just helps us out a little. And then I thought I grabbed another star. I just need that last star. And then that's where then we add on the clasp and stuff after that. So to start beading, it helps. So I grab just another bead of a different color as a stop bead, just like you do with other beading projects. Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. So I just kind of give myself a decent sized tail. I've pulled it through, and then I come back around. Kind of just like the bead can still slide on the thread, but what it'll happen is I won't lose all my beads. Okay, so then we're gonna start here, okay, with our, not storm duo, these are the quad bows, to remember all the names. So, so the big thing with this has 4 holes. So it's just making sure um, that you get in the one of the far ends of the bead, okay? So the furthest 4. I like to make sure, don't go through, but just poke all the holes before you go on beading to make sure like there's nothing stuck in there. Sometimes doesn't always come completely through. You're going to pick up one of your crystal bicones or crystal rounds. You could use 6 O's. That's fine. Yeah, Zach. I'm using, so virtually I wanted to create something just from the box, but you could definitely use 6 O's. It was just that's what came with the February box. So that was kind of my goal for myself. So and then it comes down and lays right there. And now I'm going to pick up my Navette. And just like I said, the way Potomac does these is cool that it actually has a hole already in it. So you don't have to figure out how to get it to stay with all your beads. It's like built in. All right, so we got those on there. I'm going to pick up another crystal. And so we're surrounding the Navette. There's the hole, if I can see the hole. And then we're going to pick up our other quad bow. Make sure that you go in the same hole. So I'm going to poke through all of them just to make sure that while I'm beading, I don't get stuck along the way. And then pull down. Now they're going to flip and stuff, but just make sure before you go further that they're all laying the same direction, that you've beaded through the same hole. That's important. Otherwise, and it slid because I was pulling on, it got stuck on some of my pliers over here. And now everything looks a disaster. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to pick up a bicone. Slide that on. And you're probably like, why are you picking that up? Then I'm going to pick up the Storm Duo because it's easier to come back through the other side of the Storm Duo. And I'm going to try and finish beating around this first and then add even more in after that. So then I come down, back down through the Storm Duo, but don't go in the quad yet. See where I am? Oh, yes. I can hold it up. You can certainly take a screenshot. And if anybody else wants to, here you go. I'm pulling through. And I'll put pictures in the Queen Beaters group and everything, so that you can go in closer to the project. Okay, so then I went back down. So I came up and now I'm going back down. But before I go through the quad bow, I'm going to pick up another bicone. Oh, and the mat that I'm using is also from Potomac. I love this bead on it board. Of course, my vision's going bad and I can't see the bead hole. Well, I have bad vision. I just need new glasses. All right, so I put the bicone on, if I can say the word, and go through the second hole of the quad and pull it on through. And just having that stop bead there allow that I can pull things and not worry about losing all my beads. This kind of that's what the stop bead does, and we'll replace it with a regular bead later. Um, so now we've gone through the quad bow and we're going to add another bicone. Now this is where it gets tricky because the navette only has 2 beads. So for now, I'm going to go back through the first hole and then make sure you come out. Don't go through that crystal on the other side. I'll hold that up. So it does give it a little bit of an angle here. Let's see. It's not showing up, at least on my computer. So we're right here. So I came through, and before I go back up through this bead, make sure you add your next crystal. Yes, queen beaters will have the finished project. So yes, that is correct. So before you go through, which I almost just did, um, pick up your bicone and now go through the second hole of the quad bow. And we'll come back later and add in our bicone over here. No worries, we'll get there. So we go through the beads a couple times. So this is what you've got. No worries. And I'm going to add on the Storm Duo here. Oh, nope. Sorry. Crystals first. Ah, my own design, and I don't remember. Oh my goodness, it's so fun to have you guys here. Tell me, what are you girls? What are all of you working on? Picking up the bicone first and then the Storm Duo. I've seen some fun projects shared on Queen Beads and Jesse James and all over the place. You guys have some great things going on. Now I'm going to pick up that Storm Duo. Make sure, once again, that everything's laying in the same direction. Now make sure that you're going on the far outside because you're going to come back and go back through there later. Okay. And now to come back down through, we're going to come up here and add in our first seed bead on this side. And then, or, yep, you can do it this way and you grab another seed bead for the next side. So we're coming back now. You have 2 seed beads there, but the one's going to come over and go down through your Storm Duo. So it's going to kind of fold over. And as we keep beading along, it'll all straighten out. So no worries. Now we need to pick up a crystal to go in. So here we are. We're going to pick up a crystal before we go back down through our quad bow. Everything's rolling all over the place. Ignore my mess. Oh. Next time I'll get little bowls with each. There we go. That'll be for a project like this. That'll be helpful. So you put that crystal bicone on, and we're going to go through the third hole of your quad bow. Make sure you don't go through the navette yet. Pull on your thread all the way through. Get everything to lie in the right spot. And our stop bead's still here, but eventually we'll have other beads over there. So here we are right here. And I'm going to pick up a crystal before I go through the navette. That's awesome, Melanie. Congratulations that you had 2 sales in your Etsy shop. That's awesome. Yeah. I have not opened my Etsy shop back up. I kind of like not having to deal with shipping. So now we're on the other side of the navette and we're going to come up and finish work on this side. So pick up a crystal and go through the 3rd hole of the quad bow on this side. Pick up a crystal, and now we'll put our other storm duo on. So you have a choice. You can either add on the seed beads up here at this time, or you could do what I did on this side. Either way, and same thing with all of these beads. Make sure that they go through both holes or 4 holes or whatever they have before you sew them into your, or what do you call that? Bead them into your project. So I'm gonna not do the seed beads on this side, and I'm gonna go, I haven't decided which way I like better, but so I'm still experimenting with this design. But I love the navette, and I was like, oh, I want to make some kind of focal out of it. So I just came back down through the storm duo without doing the seed bead on this side. So you could do it either way. And now I'm going to add in a crystal, or bicone crystal. Oh, good. I'm glad that you can get a bead box somewhere, Melanie. That's great that you're able to do that with that sale. And then come back down through the quad bow. And then add another crystal. So I'm using the darker bicones for the middle part, the lighter bicones for the non-focal part. So then I have to go back through. Remember the navette only had the 2 holes. So I'm going back through and I'm going to add in that last side over here. As I get my fingers all twisted around. I love how that just kind of get a good fix on that. Come on, there we go. How that just rounds out so nicely. I'm going to pick up another bicone. Looks like my daughter's home from work. And then I'm going to come up through that quad bow. Pulling everything tight. Not super tight, but tight enough. And then pick up another bicone crystal. So I'm doing the dark ones. They can't see you. Thank you for the hug. My daughter just gave me a hug. There we go. And then I'm going to go back and add in those seed beads. Oop. So I'm putting in a seed bead, and we're going to add in another quad bow here after that seed bead. And then um, I'm going to go down and come back through this seed bead to straighten it out. And you can determine how far down you want to go, but I'm just going to come down to that row of crystals next to the other quad bow and then come back up through the crystal, through the storm dew, and now into that third hole in the quad bow. And then come down through the fourth hole on the quad bow. Thank you, Zach. You're so kind. Just absolutely beautiful. Great design. Thank you, honey. Now I have to pick up a seed bead to fill in that space before the storm duo. And this is where I'm going to bead past my stop bead, picking up a crystal. Need the dark ones. And what you can do here is you come down now through that bottom crystal. So you should have 4 crystals. So I went through the quad bow and the crystal. And now I'm going to pull off my stop bead and I'm going to tie it off right here on what I just beaded through. Can't hold it up and tie it off, sorry. And then I'll come back later and use my thread burner and put a little bit of jewelry glue on there. Pull on a knot. Just tie this off because I don't need it anymore. Tying knots live is hard. There we go. So that is tied off, and we will come back and burn that off and everything at the end. So here I am next to the navette, and I'm already gone through that crystal on that side. Now I'm going to come back out on the other side of the navette and come back up through that bicone. So now I'm just going back up and adding, I'm going to go back and add everything up here. So I just went back through, reinforced everything. And now picking up a seed bead. And need 1 seed bead here, picking up my quad bow. Make sure you're on the first hole all the way over. Make sure all those holes work. And then we're going to come back down, add in our seed bead. Now we don't have to go all the way back through. We're just going to work right here. Add in our seed bead and go down through the second hole of our the 1 storm duo and the crystal. That's all we're going to do. Stop at the next quad bow because we're just going to come back up. Go through the crystal, the storm duo. Okay, pick up a seed bead, come up through the third hole of the quad bow. Make sure you're not all knotted and tied up in your own string. There we go. And then come back down through that fourth hole. and pick up a seed bead. And now I am going to go all the way back through so I can reinforce this side. So just all the way down through the storm duo, the crystal, the Nivette, back up through the bicone crystal, the other quad bow, the seed bead, and the other quad bow. Now we're back up on the other side. So pretty much, except for now we're going to pare down. So our focal is pretty much finished except for the paring down so we can go down to just the one. Something got caught. Oh, just the extra string. I'm going to trim that a little. We'll come back and burn it off later. Just get it out of the way. All right, so now you actually should have come up through the second hole, not the first hole. But you could stay in that seed bead because we're paring down, so we need to come. This is all established here, so we don't need to totally, there we go. There we go. So you want the second hole, not the first hole. And then you're going to pick up a storm duo. And a seed bead. And back, and then another seed bead, so just what we did the other time. And we're coming down through the storm duo and the third hole. Okay, make sure that the seed beads are on either side. And now we're going to go back up through that second hole. So see, it's just reinforcing all of this. The storm duo and the seed bead. Okay. And now we can start the rest of our bracelet here. So you pick up your round. I love 6/0s too. I think it'll be really cool. Melanie says she looks forward to seeing that. Now we have the lighter color, the crystal. And this is just a faceted round crystal. It's a little different. It's not the bicone shape, and just alternating round, crystal. So this is where it's important, you know, your wrist size. So you're going to take it that know your wrist size. You need an inch. So my wrist size is a 7. So you need an inch on either side. So you want to bead to the 6 and the 2 if it was for me, if I was laying it out like this. Okay. No, sorry, 6.5 and 1.5, because then that 1/2 inch will be on either side will be for your findings. So now I'm going to pick up a round. So for me on this side, the first time I did 3 rounds and then the star, but I want to do 4 this time. It was just that, so I wanted to see if I could do it without adding the chain. So if you wanted to add the chain and you have a size 7 wrist like me, then just do 3 on each side. But you could still add the chain if you want it as a decorative piece. So, so we have round, crystal, round, crystal, round, crystal, round, crystal, and then you pick up your star. Now, their stars, they have a hole that comes either through one of the arms of the star. So then you have to figure out how you want your star to lay. See how it lays on my needle? So I like to have this part lay around the crystal like that. See how it kind of, come on, goes around the crystal. And then this is um, where it comes in to figure out how you want to finish it off. So I'm thinking, so last time I did a crimp tube, but I think that this time I want to just do a knot. So I'm going to take my wire guard. They gave some really pretty wire guards in this box and go up through the one side and down through the other. Pull. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to knot it off right here. See how I like this. I'm not a huge fan of crimp tubes, crimp beads. They're like my least favorite thing to use, but definitely can do that or do this, up to you. So make sure I get my knot down close to that star bead. Mm, it looks like it might be okay. The crystal might, I mean, whatchamacallit would have been better. Uh, a crimp tube. So this is just, I'm just experimenting here. That's kind of some of what eating with friends is all about. So, all right, so I got that knotted, and I'm going to go back down through the star bead and come back out on the other side and do the other side if I have enough string. Do, do, do. Correction, welcome. Oh, that's okay, Zach. So that also yeah, I think I like the crimp tube better, but I'm actually going to stay here. And am I going to be able to do that? No, I knotted it. So that's okay. This is what the learning process is, right? I just wanted to see. I don't feel like crimp tubes, unless you get the good quality ones. They didn't send any with Potomac, but you need to get really good quality crimp tubes. That's part of the key to crimp tubes. Let me see. Someone's texting me here. Anything I need to worry about? No. All right. How's everybody doing? You guys have stuck with me here. All right. So we're coming all the way back down to those two seed beads. And when I left, I'd only come up, if I can get this to, through the one. So the one that isn't straight, I'm going to come back down through. So it kind of creates the Y shape, if that makes sense. There we go. And then just once again, just bead through. So really don't need to worry about reinforcing a lot because as you can see, we're going back and forth. We are reinforcing. Where it gets tricky is if the Nevette's two holes. It gets a little tricky coming through those beads, coming through that hole. But you just be patient and take your time. You should be good. So through the crystal, through the quad bow, through the storm duo, through the quad bow, and back up. Now remember, we want to be in that second hole now because we're reducing, reducing down so we can come over here. So we're here, gonna pick up my, where'd it go? It must have rolled away. My Storm Duo, grab another one. It's here somewhere. Let's do one hole of the Storm Duo. Pick up a seed bead and start the process going out all over again. So pick up a round number. We do 4 of these. Round, the lighter crystal, around. Oh, thank you, Zach. Thank you. She said that I did an awesome job of reinforcing. I think the most important spot to reinforce is here. But also with the product of the dragon thread or the wildfire or the fire line and stuff, they're meant to really hold up to things too. So it's kind of a balance. How much do we need to reinforce with it? If you're using a different type of thread, maybe one that's not coated, these are thermally coated special threads that are hard to break. If you're using, say maybe a silk thread or something, you definitely want to reinforce. They don't hold up as well. So we got our 4 rounds on there, our 4 crystals, and then remember, figure out where you want your star bead to land. I like it landing with the round part around the crystal. So this time I will do a crimp bead. Well, I guess I have to do the knot so it'll match over here, which is fine. But yeah, I think I like the crimp beads better, but it's hard to go back and fix that one unless I took the whole thing apart. But I'll do a crimp tube on this side, then you can see what it looks like on both. So crimp tube and then the wire guard. The wire guard's great because then you can put Trish and I were just talking about this the other day, whether you just put your findings right on to things. And I agree with her adding in the jump rings. I prefer doing that. So I went around the wire guardian, and now I'm going to go back through the crimp bead, and I'll come through a couple beads and then pull it and then crimp it. So remember to give yourself a little breathing room when you crimp, but and you need the smaller diameter, particularly with when you use the wildfire and stuff. If you use soft flex, you can use a thicker tube. So I have a crimp bead right now, trying to get it in the right spot. And crimp it down. And also important when you're crimping, making sure your threads are separated and all that. That didn't do such a good job. This is why. Not a huge fan of crimpies. I never do a good job of them. And I squished my wire guard. Oops. I feel like I never get the crimp tubes right. There. There. That feels like it's holding now. All right. So then once again, all you have to do now is just weave your thread back in, so I like to reinforce both sides. Oh, we still have to add that last seed bead here and connect it on this other side. And then we can tie off. You don't necessarily really need the crimp twos because we are, tying off, going through everything. So that's not the main hold for the beads. So, and if it gets hard to pull your needle through, another great technique is to use pliers so you don't break your needle. I'm gonna go through this bicone and come down closer to the nivette and tie it off. Bicone, quad bow, bicone, and then I'm going to tie it off right here. Just find the string and tie it off. And you can go back and put some glue on it. And I did. I got this bracelet done almost an hour, just over. Woo! And then cut that off. I'll come back through with my thread burner too. And then all that's left is to add the jump rings and the findings on the end. So let me look here really quick. I have 9. You guys have any questions while I try to find my findings here? Pretty. Oh, you're welcome, Robin. I'm glad you enjoyed the design. I had a lot of fun creating it. It was really enjoyable. Like I said, I really like the unique beads that they have at Potomac. So it's a different challenge, than some of the other bead boxes. So I'm just grabbing some jump rings. Got some jump rings, and then you can add in whatever kind of closure you want. And I'm having trouble finding one right now. So I'll add the jump rings, and what I'll do is, okay, I should have brought one over. I meant to. I'll add in my jump rings and dropping everything here. And take a picture and post it. So yeah, that's all that's kind of left to do. So the wire guard just makes it nice to protect the wire from the wear and tear um, of the findings. So that metal, so it doesn't wear and tear on the metal. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it. I'm gonna flip camera around here, and yeah, so sad to not have Trish here with us today, but very glad to have all of you. It was a real blessing to have all of you here. What I'll do, if you need me to write out what I used, or you can go back, I will try and write out all the beads that I used so you guys can know, and I will put in a final picture in the Queen Beavers group. And also on my Facebook page and probably Queen Bead's Facebook page. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Melanie, Lizzie, Robin, Zach, Trish. I know was here a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing any of you, but thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your comments and your kind words. So next week we will be live again, and we'll be live on Trish's YouTube and her Facebook page, um, and my YouTube, but mostly, and Trish will hopefully feel better. If she's not feeling better, you'll get me, just me again, but hopefully we'll both be there next Friday. I don't know if I posted a new schedule yet, but I started creating it, so you should be seeing that soon. We will be doing most of March, we'll be going live except for Easter weekend. Um, but so that'll be four lives in March, hopefully, as long as we're both healthy. Yes, Terry, thank you. Everybody, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. And I can't wait to see your creations with the color beads that you have. Remember, you can switch it up a little as long as you know they have 4 and 2 holes. That's the key. Yeah. So I can't wait. Please share it in our Queen Beads Facebook group because I'd love to see what you guys create. All right. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.